across the Northeast, and that cold air, obviously, one of the ingredients when we talk about this snow that's coming in.
In South Korea, ousted leader Park Geun-hye is denying any wrongdoing.
Harpoon-Hay?
First public statement since being forced out. Today she left the presidential palace. ABC's Jennifer Eccleston has more from the foreign desk.
South Korea's president has left her official residence. It follows her formal impeachment from office after a court ruling on Friday.
Seoul's streets with massive rallies showing a nation deeply split over its future. Park is accused of corruption, and there are calls for her arrest now that she is a private citizen.
If you're waking up a little sleepy, it's because we lost an hour overnight. Daylight saving kicking in. Set your clocks 1 hour ahead. You're listening to ABC.
Now, here's the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
South winds will pick up throughout the day, at times gusting near 40 miles per hour.
Snow showers? Oh, what? Snow showers well to the north. Keep it in the north. Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name is Schrock, and I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, and Papillion. This right here, yeah, right there, oh yeah, that's the sound of caffeine, which is, this morning my alarm was going off on my phone, and I was dreaming that people kept calling me. And I was like, oh, stop calling me, I'm trying to sleep. And I snoozed it, and it went off like 5 minutes later, because my alarm is smarter than me. And I'm snooze it. Stop calling me. And the third time it happened, I was like, wait a minute. Why would people be calling me in the middle of the night? My phone is silent. Why would it be ringing? Oh, no, a radio show. I got to go. Jump out of bed. I take my Navy shower, like 2.3 minutes or whatever. Oh, wait, I'm going to be on camera. I have to shave. Oh, my gosh. Okay, let's go. But, hey, I made it. We're here. And hopefully you're here, too, because, unless you overslept or whatnot. I saw a meme on Facebook, and it was Yoda, and it said, set your clock back you must, or late to church you will be. So, yes, that will happen. You will be late. So if you're just now waking up, and you're rushing around, I feel for you. I was right there with you this morning. But if you're not rushing around, 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110, those are the numbers to join us on the program today. And of course, you can ask a question or make a comment, and we'll put you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate, good in the service center for anything your heart desires. You could even put that toward a preventative maintenance checkup on special right now. This is the final week. Some of you may have received an email about the maintenance checkup special saying that your computer needs one. We only sent the emails out to people who haven't had a maintenance checkup in the last 6 months. We also sent them out to people who did not buy a certificate, which is kind of neat because now with the website at SchrockInnovations.com, you can actually buy your certificates online. And so if you go to SchrockInnovations.com and buy one, we didn't want to send you an email saying, hey, make sure you buy a certificate. Back in the old days, last year, we we had to rely on blunt methods like that. We would just, carpet bomb everybody. We can be a little more surgical about it now, so we don't have to send you messages that don't apply to you. So it's kind of neat. So basically, you can go ahead and pick up one of those certificates. In a nutshell, if you haven't heard what the preventative maintenance checkup is, or why it's on special, or what any of that is, turnaround times in the Omaha Service Center. The Omaha Service Center is out of queue. What that means is they have open bench spots available. So if you brought your computer in today, we're open from noon to 5. If you brought your computer in, they would have it done for you on the bench. They would get it on the bench anyway, yet today, probably have it done for you tomorrow. Today's a short day. We're only open noon to 5. So getting a whole maintenance, getting 8 hours of work done in a mere 5 hours, my guys are good, but they're not always that good, okay? So it takes a little time, but we probably have it done for you tomorrow. The Papillion Service Center is exactly at capacity. So they have no open bench spots, but they have no line, which means the first time something like today when they come in, they'll have computers coming down that'll open up bench spots. The Lincoln Service Center still has a small queue, primarily because I did the radio show in Lincoln yesterday. And of course, I delivered a similar message, which caused a lot of people to come in. But they'll be working through that in a week or so here. But in the meantime, if you're hearing my voice, and you're not in the Omaha metro or the Lincoln metro areas, if you're out in western Nebraska, but you do get into town, from time to time, you can go to our website at SchrockInnovations.com and pick up one of these preventative maintenance checkup certificates. So what the preventative maintenance checkup sale is, you need to have preventative maintenance done to your computer every 6 months. Now, there are some types of computers that don't need it as badly as others. Disposable computers you don't care about, they don't need it as much as computers you do care about. Laptops actually need it much, much worse than desktops do. Laptops are all basically liquid cooled, and their heat pipes inside the laptop, they expand and contract as they get warm and cool. What happens is if they get too hot and they expand too much, they actually can leak out the evaporated condensed liquid inside. It's a vapor. It doesn't leak out like liquid, but it's vapor. It comes out. Then when it cools, it condenses again, and there's nothing in there to cool it. There's no liquid to move around anymore. After a while, it just goes dry, and then it's just a hunk of metal cooling your computer's brain. Doesn't work nearly as well, and you have to replace all the heat pipes and everything inside the laptop, or just buy a new laptop. So preventative maintenance can literally mean the difference between you buying a new laptop and you not buying a new laptop. It's that big of a deal. On Macs, for example, everybody thinks Macs are impervious to everything. The Apple Store only works on Macs that are current generation or one generation back. So if you have a 2-year-old MacBook, 2-year-old iMac, the Apple Store loves you. They just don't want to work on your computer. They're good guys over there. They're really good guys over there, but they're not allowed to work on anything that's more than 2 years old. They actually send them over to us. So you come over to us, like, hey, I need my Mac worked on, and we work on your Mac, and we're like, oh my gosh, this thing hasn't been maintained in years, and we go through and we find all these things wrong with it. So Macs need preventative maintenance just like PCs do. They actually use the same parts. On the inside, we're all the same, folks. Kumbaya. So, get the computers in for preventative maintenance. Now, every 6 months. Why every 6 months? 6 months is a long enough time for something to break, for something to go wrong, for something to stop working the way you'd want it to work. 6 months is long enough to build up dust and debris and lint and all kinds of stuff inside the cooling systems that obstruct airflow. More than 6 months, yes, you could stretch it out to a year, kind of like your dental cleaning, You could go once a year, but your teeth feel scuzzy, and you might get a cavity, and it gives that little cavity germs an extra 6 months to work in your teeth and do more damage, which makes going to the dentist more expensive because you have to get drilled then rather than just cleaned. It's kind of the same principle with computers. You could go once a year instead of every 6 months. It just means that if there is a problem that we find, it's been allowed to fester for a long period of time, which means there's more damage, which means it can be more expensive to fix. So we don't want to get that. So 6 months is the magic number. Now, the preventative maintenance checkup sale, when we do maintenance checkup specials, we have 18,000 customers plus that we have email addresses for in our system. We send out emails, and literally 72, I think it was the last sale we did was 72% of our customers came in for that special. So you can imagine how many people coming in for that special. And the special usually, we always, every time we release it, we say this week only. And that's to make sure that when we put it on Facebook, everyone on Facebook knows they need to get in. And then we put it out in the email, and everyone from the email knows to get it in. This week is the actual last week. This is this week only, because after this week, it's done. There's not going to be an extension. There's not going to be yet another week of maintenance checkup specials going on after this. It's been on, this will be the third week. So it's going to be done here at the end of this week. Next Sunday will be the last day. So if you bring your computer into Schrock, you're going to get 8 hours of preventative maintenance and cleaning and tuning. We do also fix problems in that time. We're going to fix any registry errors you have. If we find minor malware infections, things that we can remove just by clicking a button in a program, we're going to go ahead and remove that for you. It's not a big deal. We're going to go through there. We're going to test everything. We're going to make sure your power supply works, that your hard drive is in good shape, that your memory tests good, that your capacitors look good, that you have all your Windows updates, that you have all your third-party updates. We're going to do all that work for you. Literally, it's like 8 hours of work. In some cases, if you have a holiday special, it can actually be more than 8 hours of work because you have more than one hard drive and lots of memory. We have to test it all. So when it's all said and done, when everything is tested and done, you get your computer back usually next day after. And the computer can run, especially if you've never had one of these before, your computer will run like 25% faster than it did when you brought it in. So that's the preventative maintenance checkup. Required on laptops, desktops, Macs, all-in-ones. Pretty much any computer needs one, unless it's a computer you don't care about, then you can throw it away. Then you don't have to worry about preventative maintenance because you're going to throw it away anyway, right? All right. So with all that said, 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Those are the numbers to join us on the program today. And of course, you can ask a question or make a comment, and we'll put you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. All right, so going forward, we have a lot to talk about today. I guess I forgot to mention the certificates. I didn't say anything about that. I'm sorry. The certificates are on the website. You can go to SchrockInnovations.com and click on shop and specials there, and you can actually purchase the maintenance checkup certificate on the website. The maintenance checkup certificate is on special for half off. Normally it's $90. It's on sale for $45. But like if you're distant, if you're not near Nebraska, or excuse me, if you're not near Nebraska, it might be a bit of a drive, unless you're in Iowa. But if you're not near Omaha or Lincoln, you can actually buy the certificate. And then when you're coming into town coming into Lincoln for a football game this fall, for example, the certificates are good for 6 months. You can use them for 6 months. When you're going to come into town to go to Cabela's, you can come on in. You can drop off your computer for maintenance. If you're spending the night in Omaha, pick it up the next day, take it home with you. So if you're out in the rural areas, picking up these maintenance checkup certificates is kind of our way of letting you in on the sale at a time that's going to work with your schedule, because we can't do appointments for maintenance checkups. So it helps out. We have had people buying multiples. You can buy more than one. So for example, if you have 2 computers, I had a guy email me this morning and he said, "Oh, is it for my laptop? Which one's due, my laptop or my desktop?" And the funny thing is we only send emails to people whose computers were due. And so I said, both. you need it on both. And so, bring them both in. You can get 2. You can buy one for each computer, or if you have kids or grandkids that are off at school, you can buy one for them and then use that when they're back on a break. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Those are the numbers to join us on the show. And of course, you can ask a question, make a comment, as I said before, and we'll put you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. So, holy crikey. Yeah, this week was nuts. So here's what we have going on this week. Of course, you probably heard about Vault 7 by now. Vault 7, yes, that's not the Federal Reserve Vault where they keep all the gold. Vault 7 is the WikiLeaks leak of CIA hacking tools. We're going to cover that one here on the program coming up. Also, this one is going to blow your mind a little bit, and I hesitate. What do you want to talk about today? On one hand, I got to cover the story, right? And on one hand, it would be absolute shameless self-promotion to cover this story. On the other hand, I know the guys that work at Geek Squad here in Omaha. We buy them sandwiches. They're good guys. I've hired some of them before to work at Schrock. So when I tell you that while apparently the FBI was using Best Buy's Geek Squad to surveil your computers, so they wouldn't have to get a warrant, they could circumvent the Fourth Amendment by saying, we're not looking at your computers, it's the Geek Squad, and the Geek Squad, as a concerned citizen, if they see something, they just let us know. We do happen to train them on everything, on what to look for, but that's just a side thing, to help them be better at their jobs. That we have no control or direction. So I could say, the Geek Squad's spying on you, but I do know that the Geek Squad here in Omaha is not spying on you. At least I've never met anyone that works for the FBI there. They probably, if they told me, they'd have to kill me. Like I said, I hesitate to cover that story a little bit because it's like, those Best Buy geeks, they're terrible. Why don't you come to Schrock instead? That's a good deal, right? And I don't want it to be like that. But there are some parallels there that I need to draw. I mean, we're not looking at your computer and scanning it with automated programs for things that shouldn't be there. It's kind of creepy. No one's going to argue that, if you find a, pedophile with child pornography on a computer, or kids are being abused somewhere, then you see it that you shouldn't report it. That's very true and very, very right and correct. On the other hand, there's a difference between turning on someone's computer and seeing their desktop wallpaper and saying, oh my gosh, that's disgusting. Or turning on their computer and rifling through their pictures, looking through their video files, watching their movies and saying, oh wow, look at that one. That there's a difference there. There's something different about that. And so we're going to talk about that on the program as well. Also, I don't know if you've ever seen one of my personal, I hate these things. The bane of my existence are CAPTCHAs. Those stupid little things where you have to type in the code. So you type in your email. We have one on the Schrock Innovations website because we have to have one. Otherwise, we get spam all day long from robots, from computers that aren't people. Well, You've seen the ones where you have to type in the code and you can never read the darn code. You're trying to look at it and you're like, and you type it, it says code incorrect. And you swear, you're looking at that and you're like, that is the code. I can see it right there, man. And then there's like, you could listen to the code. So you click play and it's like, what? What? You know, oh, I hate those things. So then Google comes out with this new one, right? And it's called the reCAPTCHA, and it's I'm not a robot, right? So you put the check in the box, and it goes, okay, you're not a robot, because algorithmically we can see that a mouse did this. We can see how long it took you to move the mouse there to check the box. A computer doesn't have any delays like that. A computer's like, check. Oh, you might be a robot. We're not gonna do that, right? Also, it's very handy in identifying terminators. Just in case, you don't have a dog handy that can sniff them out. Little 1980s Terminator, never mind. All right, so now Google has a new innovation where you don't even have to check the I'm a robot thing, which basically means there's a CAPTCHA there that you don't ever see. But what I want to know is what happens if you are a robot then? If you don't have to check it and you don't see it, what happens if you are a robot? Does it just like say it sends its message? Okay, the other thing is with all the Vault 7 stuff going around this week, I did get some emails from some very, very paranoid individuals about security. People want to know how they can keep themselves safe from the CIA. And the answer is you probably can't. And we'll get into all the details of that coming up. But at the same time, you're never going to hear me say you're too secure, right? Air gaps don't even work, guys. Even if you're not on the internet, you're not secure. It doesn't matter. So there are some new hardware devices coming on the market, though, that are very, very much homebrew, if you will, right now. I wouldn't recommend this to anybody, but this one is a USB firewall that will actually protect your computer against attacks from USB devices. So we're going to talk about some crazy new technology that you can get as well. Now, if you didn't already notice, we are live streaming at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. So if you have a moment, please jump onto Facebook and join us there at Schrock Innovations, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. If you post a comment, I do try to keep up on that. I don't have like a producer here next to me that's like answering things for me, so I literally have to talk and scroll at the same time as I'm working. So if I start to go distant on you once in a while, forgive me for that. So like Winston right now says, looking in Sentinel. Thank you, Winston. I shaved just for you this morning. Actually, yeah, no, I did it for Dennis. Dennis says he loves the show. So you can post comments there. I'll chat back with you. During the commercial breaks, we actually go live on camera here, but in the studio, so you can hear all the stuff that we can't say on the radio. It's kind of fun. So check it out, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Before we go to break, let's take Shirley's call. Shirley, how can I help you today on Compute This? Gotcha. Gotcha. That it's entirely possible, and we're going to have a lot of people asking this question surely coming up in the next few weeks here, because Vista does die in April. So you can see here how it works. So there will be one more week of maintenance checkup special, and then we're going to take a week off. We're not selling nothing. We're just chilling, right? Because this gets old after a while. It's like I feel like I'm barking at a carnival. Come on, step right up. It gets old, and then so we just do a show that's cool and chill. And then the week after that, we're going to come back with the Ultimate Upgrade sale. The Ultimate Upgrade is designed for people like you, because with your Vista computer, you have to make a choice in April. You either have to decommission it, you have to turn it off and retire it, which means you'll have to replace it, or you can upgrade it to Windows 7 potentially. Now the problem is, number one, your hardware may not be compatible with Windows 7. So we got to figure that out first. Can the computer actually run Windows 7? If it can't, the next thing we have to figure out is, okay, we can't run Windows 7, so instead, can we replace this somehow? How can we? What? And you already said, well, I don't want to. I can't afford it. But if we do end up, doing a Windows 7 upgrade, how much is that going to cost? Well, the Windows 7 software is going to be $150, and then there's 2 hours of labor, so that's $220 in labor. So you're at what, $300, almost $400 by the time you're done. So during the ultimate upgrade, well, until 2020. So you'll be fine with that one. You're going to need a new computer by then. Or during the ultimate upgrade sale, we haven't locked down the hardware yet. We don't have any of this stuff official yet. But during the ultimate upgrade sale, you can actually get a computer for, last year it was $450 for a brand new computer, and that was with a solid state hard drive. So I mean, it was the most popular ultimate upgrade sale we ever did. So I can guarantee you this year we're going to have a solid state hard drive again, because people want the solid state hard drive. We just have to figure out what we're going to do for a computer itself, and what kind of features and specifications it's going to have. We're going to try to keep the DVD drive in, guys. I know everybody likes the DVD drive. It's getting very hard to do because most new computers don't come with DVD drives anymore, because no one sells anything on DVD anymore. You don't even buy movies on DVD anymore. So you could get a USB based one and plug it in off to the side, but nobody wants to do that. You're on the airplane and you got your DVD player balanced on the armrest, and then the fat guy's next to you on the left, and he's kind of in your seat a little bit. Nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants it built in, and we'll try to get one that's built in. We were able to last year, so we'll see what we can do there. But Shirley, I know that you're looking at it and you're saying, I'm just not sure I can do that right now. You do have a little bit of time here. You have until the end of April, so you've got almost 2 months, a month and a half, to kind of try to plan this in a little bit. But the cost that the money you're gonna spend doing an upgrade, it's going to be far less expensive to actually purchase a new computer than it will be to do a full upgrade. Mm-hmm. That's right. Yep, 6 months from now. Yep, that's exactly what I was going to suggest. I wouldn't even waste the money getting the Vista computer clean, because it's dead next month. I mean, in fact, if one was somebody that, enjoyed playing, say, with shotguns, once we do the data transfer off that thing, Paul, I mean, you could have a lot of fun with that. But, I speak from experience, computers make a mess when you shoot them. So it's messy. So make sure you have a, good cleanup crew around, lots of kids to help you pick up the pieces afterwards. All right, Shirley. Thanks a lot. Have a great afternoon. All righty, 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Going to take a quick break, but more of the show, as well as Vault 7, what you need to know about it and what you don't need to care about, is coming up next on Compute This. All right, why is my video...
When I press the power button, it doesn't boot up. How fast can you fix it?
We're the fastest computer fixer in Omaha. We'll fix it fast.
How fast?
Real fast. Do you have it plugged in when you turn it on?
Of course it was plugged in. Do people make that mistake a lot?
You'd be surprised. When you press the power button, what happens?
It roars, then stops and sits.
Ooh, like a lion?
Like a what? Well, I suppose.
Sounds like a bad power supply, sir.
Is that bad?
It's not good, but we can fix it fast.
How fast?
How's that for fast?
Does it work?
Yes, sir. More purring, less roaring now.
Wow, that was fast.
Schrock Innovations is the fastest computer repair in Omaha, sir.
That's great, but all this talking is making me hungry. You guys sell sandwiches?
We do fast computer repair. If you want a fast sandwich, you have to go someplace else. Why would we sell sandwiches?
I don't know. All this fast talking is strangely familiar.
Schrock Innovations. If you want a fast sandwich, don't go there. But if you want your computer fixed and back on your desk fast, give them a call or visit their website at SchrockInnovations.com.
U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara says he's been fired after refusing to resign at the request of Attorney General Jeff Sessions Friday. He's one of 46 Obama-era holdovers asked to leave. ABC's David Wright has more.
Even if this is the first time you're hearing his name, you definitely heard of Preet Bharara's job. This is the most prominent prosecutor in the country. And if there were ever a case where the alleged crime scene were Trump Tower, this would be the guy most likely to try it. It's not uncommon for an administration to put their own prosecutor computers in at the Justice Department. What is odd here is the timing, the abrupt order on a Friday afternoon after promises were apparently given amidst everything else that's going on at the Trump Justice Department.
In South Korea, the ousted leader, Park Geun-hye, denies any wrongdoing, making her first public statement since being removed from office over corruption's allegations. If you're waking up a little sleepy, it's because we lost an hour overnight. Daylight saving has kicked in. Set your clocks ahead 1 hour. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Now, here's the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
Temperatures this afternoon will climb to 42 degrees as we have winds moving out of the south-southeast that can gust up to 40 miles per hour.
Alrighty, guys, we're back. Welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock, and I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. We have 3 service centers to help you out with your computer needs. We have 72nd and Highway 370 in Papillion. Big news coming up about the Papillion location in future shows here, so stay tuned for that. If you're a Papillion service center customer, we have some cool stuff planned. We're getting a little bit of... No, it's an epic facelift. Yeah, you ever do one of those? Those of you who have been in business before, there's stuff you do that you have to do that you don't want to do because you're in business. And you just have to do it, and it's not really fun. Then there's stuff that you do that you love going to work and doing every day, and then there's the stuff that you do that's epic. And there are very few epic things that you do, but we have an epic thing planned for that service center coming up that's literally going to make our competitors cry. They're just going to say, "I don't understand." It's gonna be epic. So stay tuned for that one. We don't have anything. We had some details to nail down first, but as soon as I have them nailed down, we'll come back and tell you exactly what's going on. Omaha location, 168th and Burke. That's Village Point South, just across the street from the Best Buy there at Village Point. Also in Lincoln, 27th and Pine Lake Road in South Lincoln, the original Schrock Innovations. All 3 locations are there to serve you today from noon until 5. And of course, the website is available all the time at SchrockInnovations.com, where you can go there. You can purchase a maintenance checkup certificate. They are on special for half off on the website. They will be there until Sunday at the end of the day, next Sunday, and then the sale will be over. So make sure you check that out over there at SchrockInnovations.com. Make sure you buy a couple if you need more than one. Some people haven't realized that you can click that little, you can change the increment basically. You can go from 1 to 2 to 3. We had one guy buy 4. I mean, it was crazy. I wouldn't recommend everybody buy 4 unless you really need them, but you can get more than one if you have more than one computer. All right, jumping back in, nice radio commercials online. Robert says nice radio commercials online. Okay, let's see here now. Cy Watcher says something about me waving my arms in the air. Wait a minute. I don't okay, waving my arms in the air, see below. Yeah, I'm an AV guy. Okay, yeah, so I don't know. I guess you have your audio feed flip-flopped. We're hearing commercials right now. Okay, that's hilarious, right? So I talked through the commercial break, and they're hearing commercials, and I just now see that it for whatever reason didn't take. I did change the inputs on the computer here. The hilarious part is that by about halfway through the show, my computer's starting to get tired. No joke. This is the 2014 holiday special laptop, and it's getting tired. So yeah, it's not the Wi-Fi in the studio. We figured that out, but it starts to chop. It starts to hesitate a little bit. My 4th generation i7 processor, because we're at generation 7 now, my 4th generation i7 processor can stream video for about a half an hour, and then it, for whatever reason, gets tired. Yeah, so this laptop is awesome. I love this laptop. I really do. But I've got a new one. I had to buy a new one. And I had to buy one that was more powerful than the holiday special laptop we had at Christmas. If that tells you how much money I had to drop on that. It was insane for a laptop. Just stupid expensive. But if it makes my Facebook stream go smooth, that's what we need, right? So, okay, it's an investment. We're going to do this, right? So I order this laptop, and it's coming. And it has to be, because it's so new, it has to be direct shipped from China. No joke, direct shipped from China. So, and it's hilarious because, once in a while when we have, computers, we're building computers for customers, it takes 14 business days on average to get a computer built. That's not a Schrock number. I mean, that's like HP chart 14 business days, Dell 14 business days. Everybody is about 14 business days for a customized computer. Now, the thing that blows my mind is it's not like what we do at Schrock, where we're changing out internal components and building things to your specification. I asked them to increase my memory to 16 gigs and to increase the solid state to 512 gig so I could actually use the thing for something besides streaming a radio show. And that added a week to my delivery time. It was frustrating. It was very frustrating. So yes, but I like Asus computers. I want to stick with an Asus computer, and to do that I had to order an Asus body of the computer from the manufacturer. We've never ordered this particular body unit before, so I'm ordering the unit, and I don't know, I've never seen it before, so I don't want to order it and then find out that everything is chip on board, which is possible now. So and you can't replace anything. I don't want to have that happen. I would never order a laptop like that for a customer, but for a piece of equipment that's going to make my Facebook do what it needs to do, I might do that. Anyway, I digress. That's what I talked about during the commercial break. So you can see there's incredibly exciting things that get discussed. But I switched my microphone from the regular microphone, the studio line, to the internal in-room microphone. And there are commercials going on in the air in here too, so you'll hear that in the background when I'm talking. But yeah, and it was a minute we were at commercial break, minute and a half, something like that. And it took a computer that long to switch the microphone input, and then I switched it back, and I was worried because it was sitting there saying not responding. So as far as I know right now, I could be, I don't know, playing nothing? I don't know. Playing the studio mic?
Oh, no, you're good.
I'm good? Okay. So yeah, so I'm hitting refresh here. Like, my people will tell me if it's bad. So I'm going to refresh here and see, so Thor, what specs did you order on the new laptop? Oh, what specs did I order? Okay, well, on the new laptop, there's 16 gigs of RAM. There's a 512 gigabyte M2 solid state hard drive. It's a little bit different than a standard solid state hard drive. It's about the same speed. Yeah, I think it's like, if you're going to measure it, it's 50% more expensive for an extra inch on the end of a ruler. So you pay twice as, 50% more for an extra, for 1/12 more performance. So we would normally not push that on a customer because the cost is not relevant. But when you're streaming on Facebook and you're every week you're having all these people come and watch you, and it's looking like garbage because it's choppy, yeah, I want to get a laptop that's going to do that. It's got a 15-inch screen, 15.4. I had to compromise there. Again, I wouldn't do that to a customer. Our customers like 15.6-inch screens. The difference being they get a 10 key pad on the side. So like when we're going to look at the Ultimate Upgrade Special next month, it's going to have a 10 key on the side. What else? It's got a touch screen, which I really didn't care about, but everything. When you're at like $2,500 for a laptop, yeah, it hurt. You're going to get a touch screen, and it flips over like a taco. In case I want to set it up like a taco and do something with it. Okay, presentation. Wouldn't you have like a big screen or something for a presentation? Let me turn my laptop around. Take a look at this. Makes no sense. But anyway, and I know, Roger, you care about it, but I'm sure a lot of our listeners don't really care about a new laptop. They just want to see a Facebook stream that works, and that's what we're trying to do. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Those are the numbers to join us on the program today. Of course, if you ask a question or make a comment, we'll put you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate as well. All right, so Vault 7. This stuff had a lot of people up in arms. I did more radio appearances this week on radio stations talking about Vault 7 than, it was a lot. And there were some pretty crazy revelations, like, okay, we get calls on the show asking, how do I secure my iPhone against hacking? And I tell them, well, you don't really have to secure it. It's pretty solid. It's a closed system. There aren't really any viruses that we know of that get in there yet. Well, the CIA had some. Yeah, gotta love them. The CIA had some. Your Android phone. What do I need to run antivirus on my Android phone? No, you're fine. It's a closed system. No one can get in there except for the CIA. Okay, great. What about my Windows computer? Well, you run Endpoint, you run Secure Updater, that blocks it. But those third-party vulnerabilities, until they put out a patch, they're called zero-day vulnerabilities. And well, the CIA has them all. They're only good for a few weeks, but the CIA's got them. as long as you keep your stuff updated, which a lot of people don't do, and then they're good for a lot longer than a few weeks. And then there's, those Samsung televisions. Yeah, your Samsung TV, don't worry, no one's going to hack your TV. That's pretty secure, unless it's the CIA. Then it's like stereo. That one I think had more impact on anyone, because we always talk about like Big Brother, right? So it's Big Brother watching you. And if you've ever read the book 1984, they had giant screens on the wall that were capable of watching you, and you never knew which screen was watching you and which screen wasn't. So you always had to behave in front of the screen. You always had to comply in front of the screen, and the screen could hear anything in the room unless it was a whisper very low. If it was a whisper very low, you couldn't hear that. But anything else they could hear. And if you were whispering that low, they probably figured you were doing something anyway. So to find out that your Samsung television is listening and watching you on the wall, it was the personification of Big Brother. And so that really got to a lot of people. A lot of people freaked out about the TV thing. But the bottom line, I'm going to take a different approach on this one. What is the role of the Central Intelligence Agency? What is their mission? What were they designed to do? Well, we watch James Bond movies, right? And they have cool gadgets, and they spy. They break into places they're not supposed to be. They take pictures of things they're not supposed to see. They entrap people that are assets to the organization. Is it pretty? Is it sexy? In the movies it is. In reality, from what I've never been a spy, but from what I've read in novels, it can actually be not so pretty sometimes. And there can actually be people that get hurt sometimes. And yeah, sometimes they do things that maybe are in the gray area of the law or straight up illegal. And the moral that we all live by of, do unto others as you would have done unto you, goes out the window in exchange for do unto others what you can get away with doing to them. And, in some ways, I like that there's guys like that protecting me. You know what I mean? It's like there are people who get up in the morning and go to work, and they're on Team America. And they're going to defend Americans. And if they have to turn on some guy's TV in his palace over there somewhere and watch him in his underpants looking at SpongeBob SquarePants, they're going to do that if that's what they have to do. I'm sure there's guys just jockeying for that job, right? Now the question is, what happened? Did somebody do that to Americans? Did someone do that to us? Did we do that to ourselves? Or was it some cheeky thing like where we gave the tools to the Brits and then the Brits spied on us? Because it's illegal for us to spy on ourselves. The CIA cannot operate against U.S. citizens. So we give the tools to the Brits, and then the Brits spy on us, and then they share the information back with us. They can't spy on their own people either. James Bond's not allowed to spy on Brits. And so we spy on the Brits, and then it comes back, then we just trade information and it works out. So, what's going on here? All right, so Vault 7 is a collection of cyber attack tools that are designed for monitoring, shutting down, or taking control of electronic devices. Any electronic device that you can imagine that has a microphone or a camera, the CIA was capable of exploiting it to some degree. They had so many lines of code designed to attack devices that it was more lines of code than are required to run Facebook. So if you're watching on the Facebook live stream right now, there are more lines of code in Vault 7's exploits than it takes to run this live stream that we're watching right now. It is insane. So with all that said, they lost the tools. Oops! Have you ever done that? I mean, you have your tool belt and you're getting ready to go on a job, and you set it down because you're going to get one of those tornadoes off the roller at the gas station, and they're buy 2 for $2.22, right? So you're going to get 2, and so you set your bag down and you get your tornadoes, and you're thinking, man, I shouldn't eat these. These are really bad for me, I'm sure. And then I need a drink. So you grab a drink, you go to the counter and you pay, and you get in your vehicle and you drive off, and you realize, son of a biscuit, I left the tool bag in front of the churro machine. Oh no, what am I going to do? So you turn around and you go back, but your tool bag's gone. And inside your tool bag was every cyber tool that the CIA uses to spy on people. Now, in reality, it wasn't such a dramatic event. that somewhere, somebody along the way in the CIA, because you have to imagine the CIA doesn't have a bunch of eggheads that sit around tables developing these exploits. These exploits are found by people all around the world. And when you find a really good exploit in a piece of software, it is valuable. You can sell that to the CIA for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you do. So you have to imagine they're dealing with scumbaggy people. They're dealing with people that you would not want to meet in a dark alley. You're dealing with people you wouldn't want to meet in a nice alley. That are selling them these things. And along the way, the guys that are doing this stuff for them, they're tech hacker guys, they're not all straight-laced, clean-shaven, compute-this-looking guys sitting behind a keyboard saying, yes, sir, we're implementing Defense Theta Alpha. No, I mean, they're sitting there and they're, smoking their e-cigarette and they're, eating Doritos and getting cheese Dorito crumbs all over the keyboard, which is why you should get a preventative maintenance checkup on your laptop, if that's something you happen to do, by the way. The keyboards do get fouled, if you will. We can blow them out for you. So we, that's it. That's what it's doing. These guys had access to all the tools. And one of them apparently decided he wanted to be a Snowden. And he took all the tools and he released them. So here's the problem. We've heard information about these tools that are out there. The problem is the tools themselves might actually be out there. The tools themselves may have fallen out of the control of the CIA into the hands of every other government that may not have had the capability to develop the tools. So number one, that's a problem for the CIA, because now that everyone knows how the sausage is made, they can take steps to shield themselves from that data collection process. They can get rid of their Samsung televisions. They can, make sure that the iPhones and the Android devices, go into the lead box or whatever when they're not in use or when there's a sensitive meeting. There's all kinds of things that people can do, governments can do to protect. You ever wonder why they won't let the President of the United States have an iPhone? Do you still wonder why they won't let him have an iPhone now? They know. Yes, Mr. President, you can have an Android device, but your Android device cannot have a microphone. It cannot have a camera. It cannot have a GPS sensor. What are you going to do with the thing? You can play Candy Crush, sir. What else do you do in the bunker during those, when the guy jumps the fence and you're stuck in the bunker for a while, Trump's down there playing Candy Crush, because there's nothing else to do, right? So, oh my gosh, now you understand why they won't let him have one. So all these tools get out, and now we have a situation where these tools might be used against Americans or against anyone in the world now by any other agency in the world. And so what the CIA was doing it's called hoarding exploits. They were collecting all these exploitable things and then using them rather than informing the makers of the devices that there was a hole in their security. And this is exactly why Apple, during the San Bernardino case, and everyone was saying, Apple needs to unlock this terrorist iPhone. This is a matter of national security. And Apple was saying, first of all, the capability to unlock this phone currently does not exist. Can we build it? Of course, we could, with enough time and effort, we could build a capability to unlock people's iPhones. But what we would do in order to do that, we would have to build a backdoor into the Apple software. We're not asking you to build a backdoor into anything. Yes, you are. You're asking us to have a capability to unlock this device. What that means is there's got to be a way for us to unlock it without the user's permission, which means there's a way for anyone to unlock it if they know what they're doing without the user's permission. Right? We have employees here. Employees who are going to have to develop this. Employees that can move on to careers at lucrative security companies after they're done here. You can't keep... Human beings will know this. You can't keep it in. It's going to get out. So, we're not going to do it. This is why they didn't want to do it. Because once one of these exploits exists, you cannot keep it in. Do you think the CIA... They're not amateurs. Do you think that they intentionally leaked this stuff about all their ways of hacking different computers and different devices and things? No, they didn't leak it on purpose. They leaked it accidentally. It didn't mean to get out, but it did. Imagine if Apple would have created a method for the federal government to crack an iPhone and given it to them, and it would have come out in Vault 7. Imagine. Every single person on the planet with an iPhone their security would have gone down the toilet like that. That's why Apple didn't want to do it. So it's an interesting way of looking at things. I am not anti-CIA. I believe these guys are doing a really, really, really stinky job, and they're really good at it. And the stakes are, it's different now. Like before, if you screwed up as an agent before, you got killed. That's how it works in the James Bond movies, right? You make a mistake, you get kicked with a shoe dagger. You're done. All right, you screwed up, you lost your life. Therefore, Darwinian principles dictate that we're only going to have really good spies after a few years because all the bad ones got killed, right? But now in the digital world, the rules change so quickly. Case in point, these tools that everyone is so upset about. Do you know that almost all these exploits are already patched? They were patched in the normal course of security patching over the last 6 months. You know, because this whole story is about 6 months old. Most of the vulnerabilities were already patched. Which is why you need Secure Updater to get your patches, guys. Get your patches, okay? But that's why this stuff, it gets patched as part of the normal course. So the life of an exploit. Yes, the CIA was hoarding exploits, but the life of an exploit is not as long as you think it is. Now, the other thing is the CIA has known for months that the exploits were leaking, that it was going to come out. So they probably suddenly, my guess, I'm not knocking them, I'm just saying human nature here. We had all these exploits we were using, and now we know they're going to go out into the public. So, you know, hey, Microsoft, we wanted to make you aware. No, the CIA wouldn't have done that. The CIA would have got, like, Joe Blow's security company, who has a innocuous-looking white van. It says Joe Blow's security company on the side. Pulls up outside of Microsoft's headquarters, says, "Hey, Microsoft, I got your exploits right here. Yeah, take a look at this," and throws it on the ground and drives away really fast. You know, and so Microsoft would have been like, "Wow, look at all this stuff," and they fix it. That's probably what ended up happening. So most of the exploits are already fixed. They're already patched. It's a done deal. So this stuff, for the most part, can't be used against U.S. citizens right now. So this is, I've said this before, and I'm not going to dwell on this too much longer here, but we are living in a time of extreme change. If you want to give it imagine if you lived, we said, we went the way of the horse and buggy, you know, where the buggy whip. Imagine that you lived in the time when the automobile went from wow to like reality. And there were people selling horse and carriages and buggy whips, and they're saying that this automobile thing is never going to catch on. And lo and behold, it starts to catch on. Well, there's nothing like the feel of a good horse and buggy ride. There's nothing like the smell of the sweat of the horses and the excrement flying up at you as you're racing along. You know, nothing beats that feeling. You know, they're desperately trying to hang on, and eventually it just kind of goes the way. And eventually these guys are giving away, you know, carriage rides in the old market, and that's the extent of it. That's kind of the transformation we're going through right now. Not just in security, but I mean, we're talking about a world where space travel is going to be commercially viable next year. Elon Musk is going to go around the moon next year. Virgin Galactic's like, oh yeah, me too. Amazon wants to deliver to the moon. Tesla is making electric cars that actually work and are cool to drive. You can listen to this show on a podcast anywhere in the world. You can watch it live on Facebook as it happens. The world we're living in is changing so rapidly. And the CIA is a 20th century organization that is desperately trying to keep up with a 21st century threatscape. There's going to be some mistakes and there's going to be some adjustments. It's going to happen. Now the question is, how do we take that 20th century document called the Constitution and make sure that those Fourth Amendment protections stay where they're supposed to be? That's going to be one of the biggest challenges. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Marilyn, you're the next caller on the program today. How can I help you today on Compute This? Right, well, basically what we said is you're going to be due in the next 6 months, right? So you had one in December, you're going to be due in June. So you can buy the certificate now and save half off and use it in June. So we're trying, I guess I could have said that better. We're trying to say you can save half by buying it now. Or you can just buy it in June. That's cool, but you'll save half if you buy it now. Okay, I understand. All right, sorry for the confusion, Marilyn. All right, have a great afternoon. All right, so thank you. Alrighty, so just to remind everybody, you can pick up those preventative maintenance checkup certificates on our website at SchrockInnovations.com. You can also come into the service centers. We have 3 shops. Lincoln is still in queue. The other 2 are no longer in queue. So you can come in and get really good turnaround times in the shop, or you can just buy the certificate and come in when your computer is due. If you have kids at school, or grandkids, or you have more than one computer, or mom and dad's computer needs one, you can always pick up an extra certificate as well. We do keep a record in the service center. You don't have to keep the receipt. We do email you a receipt that you can use as proof of purchase. You don't have to keep it. We keep a record of that in the service center as well. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Speaking of Fourth Amendment protections, all right, I mentioned this story earlier in the program, and I mentioned I was a little hesitant about it. I'm going to throw that caveat out there again, saying that Best Buy in Lincoln and Best Buy in Omaha and the Geek Squad that works there are good guys. I know a lot of them. They refer work to us. I like them. They're very good at fixing the things that they are allowed to fix. They are hamstrung by management quite a bit. Any one of them will tell you that. They're burdened by a list of what tools they can and can't use. Can you imagine, like, your boss tells you can only use certain sizes of screwdrivers, even if that's not the size for the job? Well, you just can't do that job then. But it's just a screwdriver. No, you can't do that job because you don't have the right size screwdriver. Sorry. Imagine that. That would be terrible. So these guys are good guys, okay? The local guys, the guys that I know are good guys. Now, could there be someone that works in the Geek Squad in Omaha or Lincoln that has weekly visits with the FBI? Of course. That's entirely possible. But I don't know of anyone in my trade area. I guess what I'm trying to say here is, yes, I would love for you to come to Schrock Innovations instead of taking your computer to Best Buy for repair. I would love it. They're by far the largest provider of computer repair services in Omaha and Lincoln, and by far we're number 2 to them all day long. I would love to be equal or better than them as far as volume goes, but they sell so many computers, people tend to take their computers back to where they bought them for work, and they sell so many computers that it's a constant pull for us to get people to come over to Schrock from there. And like I said, Best Buy, the guys there get frustrated because they're not allowed to replace screens. They're not allowed to replace keyboards. They can replace hard drives, they can remove viruses. That's pretty much the extent of what they can do, what they're allowed to do. So everything else goes to HP. They have to ship it away. Everything else gets shipped off to Dell. Everything else gets shipped off to Sony or Toshiba or wherever it goes, or Samsung. They can't actually fix it there. Whereas at Schrock, we're not authorized by anybody because we don't follow the rules. We're kind of like, we're like the spy that didn't get stabbed with the boot knife. Because yeah, your hard drive's bad, we'll get HP to replace it for you. Well, HP said they won't. We'll make it happen. Had a customer in just a couple weeks ago where my staff was even confused because HP was just giving us, it's been a while since we've had to call HP for anything, and they were giving us the runaround on a hard drive replacement because the hard drive was failing. Drive Advisor said it was failing, but it wasn't failing enough yet that HP would replace it for free. And the employee that was handling the situation was like, Thor, what do I do? Because the customer says you were on the radio saying that we can make this happen. How am I supposed to make this happen? Well, it turns out in that particular warranty, HP was not willing to forward ship us a drive. Dell will do it still, but not HP. And so we have to send the whole unit back to HP, just like they have to do at the Geek Squad. But we have to make sure that that hard drive, after, of course, we back it up, is so epically click-worthy bad when it goes back. We just want it to be a click monster when it goes back, so there's no doubt. Like click, 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 click. Oh yeah, that thing's bad. So, we just made sure it did when we sent it back. But we have a backup of the data. Luckily, we got a backup, and the backup finished miraculously just before the hard drive died. It was like somebody played hacky sack, it was a miracle. It was a miracle, right? So, yeah, that's just how we roll over at Schrock. So, this story that we've got here is the FBI used Geek Squad to increase secret public surveillance. So this goes right back to Fourth Amendment stuff here. Recently unsealed records reveal a much more extensive secret relationship than previously was known between the FBI and Best Buy's Geek Squad, including evidence that the agency trained company technicians on law enforcement operational tactics, shared lists of targeted citizens. They have a list of targeted citizens. And secretly increased the covert surveillance of the public, encouraged searches of computers even when the searches were unrelated to customers' work. So let me just put your mind at ease about this at Schrock Innovations. We have a preventative maintenance checkup sale going on. We don't have time to look at anything more than you need us to look at. And even if we had time, we don't care. You know, that there, you just don't want to know sometimes, you know? I just like knowing my customers. I don't need to know too much. I had a guy that dropped off his computer in the Lincoln Service Center, and I was checking him in down there. And he comes in and he drops it off. He goes, I'm here for the maintenance check. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, are you noticing any problems? Well, you know, it's all mucked up because, you know, well, I look at a lot of, you know, stuff. He didn't say stuff. I'm just, you know, there's children listening on the way to church right now, okay? So I'm going to clean it up a little. I'm looking at a lot of stuff all the time because that's about the only, you know, life I have anymore. And I'm just like sitting here like, I don't need to know this. You know, okay, you can just say, I think it's got a virus, okay? You don't have to go, well, I was watching this video, you see, and in this video, like, I don't, goats, what? I don't need to hear about that. Stop. No, delicate ears. But, so yeah, we don't really care. We don't want to know, because once you know, you can't unknow some things, you know what I'm saying? Now, if we turn on a computer, there's been 2 times in 18 years we've turned on a computer and we've seen something that we said, we have to report that. Number 1 was a child pornography situation. And you have to report that. Number 2 was a parent who brought her daughter's computer in to have a maintenance checkup done, and it was just chock full of pornography leftovers. She's like a 15-year-old girl, and we're like, jeez, you know. Well, our job's to clean it, so we clean it. We get it all good. We get it all secured. We put antivirus on it. We send it home with her. Mom calls back in a rage the next day. My daughter's computer is all infected. You didn't do your job, blah, 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 blah. You know, no, sorry, I'm sorry, apologize, ma'am. Bring it back in. We'll go ahead and we clean it all up again. We send it back home. 2 days later, like clockwork, bah! We're like, ma'am, you know, and we're trying to walk around this situation really delicately. The only way she's going to get the computer infected is if she's turning off the endpoint antivirus and looking at pornographic websites. That's the only way. And the mom was like, don't you think we know that? What? Yeah, don't you think we know that? We encourage our daughter to be comfortable with herself in that way, and blah, blah, blah. They go in this big diatribe about how they have a clock, and she has to go do this for a certain amount of time, and you're like, and they're telling me this. Yeah, I'm sorry. That gets reported. And it was so bad when we called CPS on this couple, we said the last name and they told us the first name. Like, they were known. It was bad. So Best Buy was basically acting like a spy, basically getting training from the FBI on how to search people's computers, because you see, if Best Buy is searching a citizen's computer and finds something kind of like what I just described to you, and they report it, they're just a good, concerned citizen. Never mind the fact that the FBI was training the Geek Squad in specifically how to search people's computers. In fact, even encouraging them to create programs that would make the search automatic, that would basically automate the search of people's computers for stuff so that they could find it. There's all kinds of, I'm going to put this up on our Facebook page, you know, so all the stories we cover go up on the Facebook page throughout the week. But you can take a look at it there. Agent assignments have been reviewed and are appropriate for the operation of the source, that the paid informant continues to provide valuable information on child pornography matters and has a value due to his unique or potential access to FBI priority targets or intelligence responsive to FBI national and or local collection. In other words, this guy looks at a lot of computers in town. He's a great asset, so they put him on the payroll. He was a paid informant. But the whole purpose of this was to shield the Fourth Amendment search. So, yeah, I'm just saying, beware, guys. All right, so, coming up this week, KMTV Channel 3. We're going to be on the air tomorrow morning, about 9:25. You can check us out there. We're going to be talking about Vault 7 a little bit there as well. But in the meantime, check us out, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, and we'll be back again next Sunday for another edition of Compute This.
My apologies, I forgot to take down, and we only had like 2 or 3.
Yeah, we didn't have too many. It was kind of quiet.
Maryland was the last one I know.
All right.
News. I'm Michelle Franzen. The Republicans' health bill to replace Obamacare has moved through 2 House committees, but still faces an uphill battle with conservatives, many who have concerns that the reform
My microphone in the lid of my laptop is just fine. Go CIA. Oh my gosh, this Geek Squad story, I got a little cut off on it because the music started playing, but to go over the rest of this stuff here. February 27, 2008, agency document memorialized plans, quote, seeking the training of Geek Squad facility technicians designed to help them identify what types of files or images would necessitate a call to the FBI. Now, that could make some sense, right? So if I'm an FBI agent and I get a call every other week from some dummy at the Geek Squad about something he thinks needs to be shown to me, it gets old, man. Go get a life, you know? I could see them saying, let's train you guys to tell you if you see this is something we want to see. The rest of this stuff, nobody cares about, okay? I could see some training going into that, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But evidence demonstrates that company employees routinely snooped for the agency, contemplated writing a software program specifically to aid the FBI in rifling through a customer's computer without probable cause for a crime that might have been committed, and they were under the direction and the control of the FBI. So that's what makes this different. Let's see. Multiple agency memos underscore the coziness with Best Buy, including one that stated the Louisville division has maintained a close liaison with Geek Squad management in an effort to glean case initiations and support the division's computer intrusion and cybercrime programs. Case initiations means they were snitching. They were reporting people, and they were opening cases based on the reports. The latest revelations were the result of the work of James D. Rydet, a San Clemente-based defense attorney representing a guy. This doctor, who specializes in obstetrics and gynecology, is fighting allegations that he knowingly possessed child pornography after the Geek Squad claimed it found an illicit image on his HP that he left with the company for repair in 2011. All right, so this guy is an alleged pervert, okay? And he allegedly had child pornography on his computer that he dropped off at the Geek Squad for repair. Okay, I'm not arguing that this is a good guy, right? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is Best Buy was systemically reporting this kind of stuff. By 2016, the defense lawyer claimed the FBI made Best Buy an unofficial wing of the agency by incentivizing Geek Squad employees to dig through customers' computers and paying them $500 every time they found evidence that could launch a criminal case. Best Buy guys, I love you to death, but folks, Best Buy guys don't get paid that much. They're not $500 per potential. Yeah, that's a payday. So yeah, they're digging. They're digging because they're incentivized to do so. Okay, there are also technical weaknesses. Blah blah blah. The government took more blows in January during a partial hearing with an obnoxious FBI agent visibly angered that I had alerted the public to their heavy-handed tactics. This guy asked the FBI guy to take his first look at the image found on a client's device, pointing out the picture does not depict any kind of sex or genitals or anything like that. The lawyer questioned the guy. Oh my goodness, is this definitely child pornography? Not exactly child pornography. And this is the kind of stuff where, these people that make the devil look good, right? I mean, I'm sorry, but there's a 9-year-old girl that's naked on your computer. No. And it's not like that one birthday picture in the tub with the bubbles, and it's like, oh look, she's so cute in the bathtub. Click, it's not that picture. Yeah. So basically, the Best Buy's Geek Squad, CEO guy said, hey, if we see child porn, we're going to report it, period. There is no relationship here, but there are obviously memos that say there's a relationship here. So it's a little bit of both, I think. But the point is, when you take your computer somewhere to get it repaired, make sure it's somebody that you can trust. Now, I'm not saying you can't trust the Geek Squad in Omaha or Lincoln. I'm not saying that at all. They're good guys. Everyone that I know, we buy them sandwiches, for heaven's sake. They're good guys. Now, on the other hand, there are guys on Craigslist right now that advertise computer repair services that I specifically know are convicted computer criminals. They're convicted child molesters, and they're on Facebook, just doing their thing, and on Craigslist doing their thing. So be careful who you invite into your home. Be careful who you invite into your computer. And as a rule of thumb, choose somebody that you can trust. Now, if you haven't picked up one of those maintenance checkup certificates already, make sure you do so because they're good for 6 months. You can use them anytime going forward in the future. Thanks for watching us on the show today. We'll be back again next Sunday with a brand new computer that hopefully won't hesitate and stutter. Technology. All right, we'll see you guys.